We have Resolve versus Granit. Second game of the day coming your way. Both teams yet to pick up a win. However, Resolve really tested XL in their first game of the split. Genuinely put XL under the hammer a little bit, and it was a rough one for XL to kind of clamber back and get the win. So, I think Resolve looked impressive, and I think I would, slightly favor them coming into this matchup. But I'm gonna bring Trouble in, because Trouble, you did technically go for Granit here, so I'm gonna put you on the spot. What is it about Granit you think is giving them an edge in this matchup?
I just think that individually they can go against any team. It's the fact that they got choked into such a bad composition yesterday versus Strict, where it was humanly impossible for them to do anything. They couldn't play a specific playstyle, they couldn't pressure in the early, they couldn't pressure in the mid, they didn't have a specific identity to play forward towards, so it was just really hard for them to execute, and I do believe that they have what it takes to push forward. I'm looking specifically towards that bot lane, because I think if the plays are going to come out from somewhere, it is from there. But then looking towards Resolve, Achu, whatever team he's played in, he's been such a solid rock. So I think it is going to be solved down the bot lane which team is going to win.
Yeah, I think a lot of people have kind of hyped up Bay coming into this. I think a lot of people kind of pointed to him saying he's an excellent AD carry. He does have tough opposition though, as you said. Achu, incredibly veteran AD carry right now in the ERLs. He's built up a huge name for himself for a reason, but it looks like they're prioritizing a hyper carry here for Bay. It is going to be the first pick Jinx already for Granit.
It makes sense, right? We mentioned how it's going to be the battle of the bottoms, as I like to say it. And Baber wants to take in his hands a very hyper-scaling ADC, and then you can pretty much put around it whatever you want. You can put a Rel, you can put a Tam Kench, you can play more aggressive with the Leonas, the Nautilus, literally anything you want to put next to a Jinx, it will work, as long as you have the rest of your team appealing and playing for you. So I think it's a much better style than they had in the last draft.
And I especially actually like this Resolve response, the Rumble immediately. There's no Thresh available for the Jinx to actually be landed off of any equalizer. So for now, I think Resolve also going for Karma, which sometimes I feel like teams at the moment, they're debating on how strong Karma actually is. Some teams really like her, and as you'll see here, Resolve actually early rotated her. Granted, I don't even get to say, they've just immediately locked it in. We're going to finally get to see Viego here in the NLC. I don't think it was picked yesterday once. I think this champion is incredibly strong. His skirmishing in the early game is honestly bonkers. If he gets on top of you, you're probably going to die. And if anybody actually gives him a reset, honestly, start running for the hills. Because as soon as he gets those resets, he gets all of the CDRs, the cooldowns rather, of the champions that he's taken over. And he can just cycle it over and over and over again with those ultimates. Granit, they've even picked up the set to play into the skirmishing even more and Resolve, I think, with that Renekton pick, trying to sort of alleviate that and have an AD mid with this run.
I just really love the fact that Granit picked set, because they do have the triple flex again with the set. It could be support, it could be mid, it could be bot lane, but they have the same thing with the Viego. It could be top, it could be jungle, and it could also be mid. But the fact that they pick one skirmisher that can play around Jinx and one person that can peel hardcore for Jinx, someone like a set, the one that can engage but also disengage fight with his ultimate, with his pullback and everything. I just really love that they are playing around Brave. We mentioned how it was going to be around that bot lane, and so far it looks like they want to play around that too.
I think yesterday, Jamada, you kind of talked a bit about how Resolve look for win conditions, and a lot of what you said was they're probably going to attempt to jungle diff most games. So for Soft, is he the kind of guy that we need to keep our eyes on? Is he a talent in the jungle that could genuinely look to be one of the top tiers?
Yeah, I mean, I think for the past 2-3 splits, any team that Soft's been on, he's almost always been a vocal point as to why his team is succeeding. The teams that he's on always seem to sort of play around him or give him lanes that he can enable consistently. So yeah, I think Soft almost always a player that you kind of have to keep your eyes on if he is playing. And he's kept Chimera from last bit as well. They've been together reunited with Achu, who they've played with before on Eminem and Phelan within the last 2 years. So this roster is very familiar with one another and very comfortable playing with each other. So I think when it comes to drafts, you're always going to see these kind of drafts where they're just going to bounce off each other, and there's going to be a lot of ebb and flow.
A lot of AD carries ban trouble. Yeah. Varus, Tristana, Lucian, although he doesn't always usually seem mid more than anything, the Ezreal, but it will be the Ashe locked in here for Resolve. So we saw a little bit of Ashe yesterday, rather. It was actually an Ashe performance that picked up the MVP for Dragdar, where he was just like sniping people with arrows across the map. Do you think that's enough engage for them? Do you think that's enough to set up this team comp from what you're seeing so far?
It's enough engage for sure. It's just I'm not sure if it's enough safety for an Ashe to play against the Set, to play against the Viego, to play against the range of a Jinx, to play against the Victor that's going to put down Gravity Field and no one's going to be able to move forward or backwards. But on the contrary, you mentioned it, Tristana's banned, Pharah's banned, Lucian's banned, Ezreal's banned, all the safe ADCs, all the top S tier ADCs have been banned away. What I would like to see is possibly the Kai'Sa, but Kai'Sa doesn't play very easy into the Jinx. So again, the first pick for Granit coming in to bite Resolve right here, and here we kind of see it clearing it out. The Viego is going to be going in the jungle, the Set's going to be going in the mid lane, but look at all these peel that they have for Baybro on that Jinx.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not actually too opposed to the Ashe. I think it's given themselves at least one more form of engage via the arrow. I think they can zone a couple of the melee champions out. Yes, it's going to be very risky if Set and Viego have flash, but I think together in the bottom lane, between the two, they're going to have enough wave clear to probably consistently shove in this bottom lane in the early game, sort of play in a safe manner. And with the Karma shielding, you can probably alleviate enough of the pressure. I think it's more about finding flank angles for Granit and Syndra here to sort of round out the composition. A little more burst, try and capitalize on some of those long-range arrows. I think is a really solid lock-in.
So, okay, Jamada really likes the Resolve draft. I'm like...
I like both of these drafts. I think
don't particularly like the Resolve draft. I really like the fact that they've combined Rumble with a strong AP mid laner because his magic resist shred can be huge in the mid lane that can completely punish Victor together with the Viego. So that's going to be a crucial part in the early game. But I just cannot necessarily see the compositional identity behind the Resolve comp that's been drafted here. They don't necessarily have a 100% hard engage they can rely on. If the arrow misses, what do you do then? You get engaged upon. Ashe is going to most likely run a cleanse. Sure, what do you do when the cleanse is down and you have a Set jumping on you, you've got Viego jumping on you, you've got Eliona jumping on you. There's just so much lockdown and CC, and I'm like, that Ashe, if she doesn't get protected enough, she's literally a sitting duck. This is my only 5 cents on why I'm 50-50 about the Resolve composition. And this is why also I went with Granit.
Yeah, well, there you go. You predicted draft before it even happened. I think my personal opinion is, and we've got to go to casters in a minute, but I think a lot of this is like there's very heavy snowball potential from Resolve. Like you can rumble ult, and that often is enough to capitalize with a Renekton or a Syndra, and you can kind of snowball the game really heavily. But if you don't snowball, then I think you're going to struggle. I think you're going to struggle if you don't take control of that mid game. We're delaying more than we need to here. Hitbrain and Gulbug are on the sidelines, ready to jump in. Let's get into game.
Let's just jump into it. Hello and welcome to the Caster Desk as we're getting ready to go into our second game. A pretty divided desk, actually. Jamada doing what he does best and going, I like it all. But I mean, we had a very Trouble came in for a pretty strong opinion on her thoughts on the draft phase. I'd like to see what you think about this draft phase. Who do you kind of favor here? Do you agree with Trouble? Do you disagree?
I'm not too sure about meta, but like we can line it up. I think that but I actually think both points that both people made were correct. Like I specifically think that if you go for that double AP in the middle, you get so much Mercs value, which is something that most people will already go against Syndra. So it's going to be very hard to deal with Victor in the mid lane, or at least try to kill him. And then you need to go for the top side play where you will have damage that's actually going to be, mixed, but you're also playing into Set with that huge shield. I think they have what they need to do to make things work. That the side of Trick, yes, it's not like a Malphite ultimate they have as an engage, but we've seen Archer on Ashes before. Like, he don't miss, all right? He just don't. And I think that's something they are taking into consideration when they're playing it like this. I'm very split about Karma still, so I think that's one of the questions marks for me as well. But maybe Fastlight can pull something out of the hat that's going to make me like that pick even more. And then Granit Gaming, they got Viego. I am part of the church that is saying Viego is really, really strong right now. If you have a Fed member of Resolve, Granit Gaming gets to kill that member. Viego just take control of that body, steals the item, and now suddenly you have another Fed member of your team. Reset. Like, it's so hard to skirmish against this champion. His early game prowess is so goddamn strong, and he's got set up in top lane, and he's got set up in bot lane if he wants to go for anything. So I think on both sides here, you got very good arguments for when it can be a good composition, but it's just about when do they they spike. And as they said on the desk as well, I agree. A lot of it is going to come down to level 6. It's going to come down to the execution. You missed that Ash Arrow the first time. That's a pretty long cooldown. That's an extra cooldown that Granit Gaming could start creating skirmishes or starting up objectives with, just because there's not going to be too many responses then for the side of Resolve.
I really hope this isn't a one-sided game, because from the way everyone's been talking about this draft and what we're seeing so far, it looks like this is shaping up to be what could be a very, very fun game to watch. And
yeah, I think so.
So far we've seen pretty heavily controlled games where, like, I think it's fair to say the early game has been, especially yesterday, the early games have been a little bit more contested and a little bit closer, but then the games kind of ran away from some of these teams. This time doesn't feel... Well, if that doesn't happen, it feels like we could be in for a really, really exciting game here. For now, though, Resolve are getting just insane priority in this bottom side, as Babror going to take a volley and an powered inner flame. As they do find themselves a Zenith Blade onto fast leg, but they don't obviously have that level 2 yet on Wixo, and now Wixo eats an inner flame, and he's just going to continue to take a little bit of poke from a Chew and fast legged.
It's tough, but you'll just have to sustain whatever's going on here. And Resolve most likely will, with this bot lane, is just going to keep the pressure up. And then on the third wave, they're going to crash it. And they're most likely going to be looking for a Cheetah recall, just because they can allow themselves that time with a range double bot lane like this. But on the rest of the map, you can see Hess0 is on the priority on the top side. And in that mid lane, Muta is pushing the Cinder quite confidently in. So what I kind of want to see from Granit this time around is more proactivity. They were very good at mimicking the plays we saw for them yesterday when they were playing against and but they're really good at like finding the mimicking play, finding the cross maps, but they just never found the footing for themselves to commit to a fight. And this time around, I think they have the engages in their arsenal to actually commit to those fightings. They have reliable engage in the Leona. I think that's what we are going to be waiting for from the side of Granit. So we might not see much in the beginning here, Brain, but it could potentially turn out to be a very skirmish-heavy game.
Well, looking for now, Teko sniffing around to see if there's a potential chance to jump in here. Has got that level 3, so jumps in, gets the stun off. There's the Blade the Ruin King as the Chew flashes away from the zap, and Soft now comes in. Teko is going to get fried. Still has that Hallowed Mist available as Chimera's teleported in. The Scatter the Weak on one last Harpoon will seal the deal. Teko goes down.
And there you just see Resolve being ready for the overstep, coming in there. Same pathing from Soft, really intelligent, ready for the counter gank. When the pushback came back from the minion wave, and then Chimera in a position where he slow pushed towards Muta, and that gave him the confidence to just TP in. Muta could have TP'd as well, but look at his mana bar. Not much in that either, so really just a tough situation, and Resolve punishing for a slight overstay that just seemed like a normal gang from Teko, really.
By the way, Teko probably has the best name in the league. I can't think of a better name than Teko.
I'm trying to think of all the names right now in the league.
It used to be, was it Dr. Chaos? Yeah, Dr. Chaos. The support player. That was an amazing name.
I don't think that was the best, though.
That was the best of that season.
Perhaps.
Was that last season or season before?
That was last season.
That was last season, yeah. Yeah, Dr. Chaos had the best name of last season, definitely. Teko's got it, no.
You might be right. I can't come up with anything, so I'll give it to you. You might be right.
It's just, it flows. It's cool.
Yeah. First strike of this game this time around is, I'm just going to hold that thought fast, like, does have flash.
Yeah, it does have that flash. Has got to choose. Going to flash to safety. The Ignite's hitting. One more auto. Wicco finds it. Babror is going to be able to shove this wave in.
That's not what you want to see. Luckily, the kill, it did not go over to the Jinx, but still, dying in that bot lane like that is not what you want to see. No flash and fast like either. Priority for the bot lane, favorable reset, and Infernal Drake has spawned up here, so we are looking at Granit, who's in a favorable position. You see mid lane, also really good for them. Soft not feeling an engage here, just because Teko is in the background of Muta. So, small skirmishes across the whole map here, but Granit Gaming winning out on all of them, but it's not the biggest advantage gained yet out of it.
Now, the gold lead is only 200 between these two teams. Obviously, a kill apiece, meaning that we're in a pretty okay spot. Both of those kills have happened down in the bot lane.
I don't know if you paid attention to Twitter, but Archie started just by posting, Day 2 of NLC, looking forward to today's games. Excited to get that W, and then a smiley face. And apparently all of League Twitter was just like, that's a funny tweet. We're just going to copy paste it. And it was just all over Twitter for a good amount of time.
I missed that. I totally missed that. Then again, if anyone follows me on social media, they'll probably be aware that I suck at social media. I'm so bad at it.
Yeah, I mean, I do too. I'm trying to step it up a bit with small content, but I mean, I think we could all improve our social media skills.
We can all be better.
Well, speaking
As
of
Soft
that,
is looking for Teko Teko. Wixo's in the area. Dodges out on that harpoon as Baby will just get the damage off. They do get the inner flame that slows Baby down as the tether is going to connect from fast legs, and Soft just going to fry Wixo a little bit. All this to make sure that Teko Teko can pick up this camp, and now the Predator's on.
Chimera coming down as well. Like, they could just try to force them off this way completely. They have to respect this from Granit.
It doesn't look like they are, though. Wixo didn't get the memo. Misses the Zenith Blade. The traps aren't going to pop as the unleashed power comes out from Chimera. There's the Ash Arrow. They've already taken out Teko Teko, and Wixo just getting absolutely fried by Soft. Able to survive it for now. Teleport was available to his hero, and Muta has made their way over. It looks like that's going to be the end of this little skirmish at the wave, but Babel did lose a fair amount of farm there.
He did, and his hero... Maybe he should have committed a TP just to make sure that Barbara could be getting his wave. Remember that he is the carry and Hesero here is the weak sider, but Chimera with a really good roam pushes in the mid lane, can just roam for free. You can see the minion wave pushing back. Oh no, they stayed around.
Oh, and there's the equalizer, and Babel, he's going down. Wixo will be next up on the menu, slowed down and flashes away to safety. Soft with an amazing equalizer. Gave Babel nowhere to go.
I honestly think Rumble is such a good Jinx counter this time around because she's such an immobile AD carry. If she has not gotten a reset, it's so hard for her to reposition around the equalizer. We saw it a lot yesterday as well. Do you remember the Fnatic versus Riddle series where Maxi just piling down insane amount of damage from Gooby on that Jinx as well? Like, I genuinely think it's a really good pick into a Jinx within his first pick like this.
Yeah, I think you're actually absolutely right. That cleanse isn't really going to do much. Sure, you can cleanse the slow, but you're still going to get fried. You were too low, and Teko Teko just going to have to ignore his bot side for a little bit and look to try and play for the rest of the map. Picking up this Rift Herald. As Resolve were on resets after the end of that action. Chimera's not really got the mana to kind of hard force pressure in this lane, so
no.
That will just be a freebie for Granit.
They are picking up objective this time around again, but I actually wonder how the gold is placed right now between some of the members. You can see Teko Teko actually 0-2 and Soft 2-0 as well. Archu level 6 down here, basically just single-handedly forcing Babro off this minion wave, and they're doing it again. They're just pushing in mid lane together. They're taking care of the camps, and they're forcing pressure back down towards this Jinx, not letting him scale like he really wants to.
Teko Teko on this top side of the map may just look to put the Herald down here. Zero still got a fairly large wave as Kalim going to be able to deal with that pretty quickly thanks to being Renekton.
Well, TP is up for Hestero this time around. The minion wave is pushed in, so if he wants to join, he should be able to do it.
Good traps there by Brave Raw, able to get him off as the Zenith Blade comes in. They've got the shielding from fast legs as the tether comes out. Equalizer once again to slow and cook these members. Wizzo is low. Soft also, so both of these players are just going to step away from one another. And she's just getting free time on the wave. Didn't need to fire anything out. Obviously did throw the Ash Arrow down as he's put it in the mid lane. Not going to hit anybody, unfortunately. That is now that ultimate down.
But just look at all this pressure from Resolve, though. You look at the vision right now from them. There's just ping boards all over. They can always rotate down here. No flash onto Wixo.
Yeah, Wixo misses the Zenith Blade. Soft just flashes forwards, and that's going to be another kill picked up in the bot lane. Make it 2. Teko Teko's coming in, misses the Heartbreaker, flashes for fast leg. The Blade of the Ruin King will finish him up as he gets himself into Karma mode. Gets the tether off, flashes forward one more time, has that Heartbreaker available. Not going to throw it down in time, though. And that is going to be Resolve finding another kill as Chimera teleported in to save the day, while Muta teleports mid lane to catch the wave.
And that's the thing, right now, they're so good at playing for this bot lane right now. It's not so much that they're playing for Archu, they're just playing to shut down the Jinx. And they're doing a phenomenal job at doing it. Once again, I gotta say it, like, look at the vision down towards Resolve for that bot side. Look at the river. It's all theirs. There is not a single ward for blue side right here. It's so easy for them to just repeat gang. They're trying to look for Chimera, but with the phase rush, he should just be out of there. And they're not making it easy for themselves, Granit Gaming, right now. They drafted the Jinx, they first picked it, which means they put a lot of priority onto this champion. But they're not following up on that priority. Right now, it's Resolves, who keeps being one step ahead of them.
Curious to see where Teka is going to put down this Rift Herald as well, because after everything, hasn't actually done too much with the fact that they secured that objective. Obviously, the teleport from Kalim kind of shut down any opportunity for them to be able to deal with that. Let's see where they're going to look to go. Fastlegs and Achu have made their way into the mid lane. They've got that Ash Arrow back up, so Muta has to be careful. Remember, Babel has cleanse, but Muta does not. It looks like for now, Resolve are just going to turn their attention towards this first dragon of the game for themselves.
And I think it's just, you know, it's the most fair thing to do here. There's no way as Granit Gaming that you're actually going to be able to challenge this Drake. So you're just going to have to give that up. You already picked up the first one, which is good for your scaling element. And now it comes down to, is the cross map going to come through? There's no TP from the rest of the Resort members. Down to 3 plates here.
Going in for the stun. They're not going to quite hit it. And Kalim able to get away as Zero takes a fair amount of damage. Teka also takes a charged up shot. As Wizzo's made his way over as well. Granit, they're going to put a lot of attention into this top side. They need to place the Herald down, and that looks like that will be the game plan.
But look on the opposite side as well while this goes on. Your win condition right now is just starved at the second turret. Like, as Chimera, you don't even want to take this turret. You want to make Vibro's life miserable. He is so far behind. He's a level down. He's almost 20 CS down as well onto his opposition of Archu. So yes, you're winning out on the top side of the map right now, but that's not where your win condition. It's the Jinx, and she's a 1k down.
It's so rough for Babel right now. It finally moves up to catch the wave, and Chimera goes, no, I don't think you will. You can zap that, but that's going to be all you get. And Babel, like you said, incredibly starved right now as we toggle back towards the items and see where we are in that area. You know, it's the boots 2, the pickaxe, the noon quiver to just boots 1, noon quiver, and pickaxe, although Chu has a fair amount of gold to spend, so on the base of this should probably just finish up that next item. We'll be very close to. Do you see the Gore Drinker now finished up for his Zero and that Blade the Ruin King for Teka? Also got the half-bound axe in the inventory.
I'm looking at Archu backing, and he just got exactly what he needed here, right? The Kraken Slayer has come through, and, you know, Vibro, once again, he's level 7. Archu is 9. He doesn't even, I don't know if he's close to it, but it's going to be a while before he gets that as well. So every skirmish that Resolve wants to create, if Archu is around, you just know you're going to lose out on it.
Well, 13 minutes into the game, and it is Resolve favored at the moment, but the gold lead is 1,000. The big problem, the big sore point is, as we've highlighted, Babel on this Jinx, and it actually kind of feels like Granit have just kind of left him to the wayside. He's gone for the Gale Force here on the Jinx. Typically, we see these Kraken Slayers, but the Gale Force obviously giving you bonus movement speed and that dash. This is the I want to survive build right now.
Exactly. We talked about the Rumble with the Equalizer, how hard it is for Jinx to play because she's so immobile. So I actually think it's a pretty good play. But what I want to talk about once again, Resolve, their vision control. Beforehand, it was all around the bottom. Now it's all around the top side. Pinkpot is coming through. You know what else is spawning in just a bit? That's right, the Herald. So they're already preparing the next objective right here. Herald is spawning in 10 seconds. And right now, there's nothing Granit can do if they want to start this. Mid lane is being pushed in, and then they could just start it immediately.
Yeah, and I mean, look at the summoner spells, look at the abilities up, all alternates available. Teleport's almost there for Kalim, even though Kalim's in the top lane, so it won't really need that teleport. There's just no way Granit can contest this. They know this, and they're just going to have to step away. They're probably very much aware that the Rift Herald's going down. They have that timer, but there's just nothing they can do about it.
Late reset did come through from Fastlane, so they didn't feel too good trying to contest it. And right now, they are on a TP deficit, so if Muta wanted it, he could try and contest it, but they could just bait it out. Now, Muta actually just ulted onto Chimera as well. I don't know if he just tried to clear the wave or what's going on here. Wixo making his way down as well, but he's going to be spotted on a ward, so Chimera should just back off here, and they're not even getting anything on the cross map either. It's just Herald going to go over to Resolve without losing anything. Arrow, ooh.
Let's get a little bit wide. Babel able to dodge that one.
Did have cleanse as well, so worst case scenario, probably just have to burn that.
But I think the worst case scenario right now is the fact that the Rift Herald's in the mid lane with Soft, and Wixo's in the area, but Achu just able to free fire away, and Babel doesn't really have much wave clear right now, so struggling to deal with this.
You actually want to save this Herald. There's 50 seconds until the next Drakes come around, and you can actually just use it for that to create a split situation for Granite Gaming. So either they'll have to deal with the Herald or they'll have to deal with the Drake. But honestly, as Resolve right now, I think you could deal with either.
Cleanse is going to be used from a Chew. That's pretty nice. The Solar Flare on a pretty short CD right now. So we'll see what they decide to do with this. The recalls are coming in. They know this dragon's coming up. And honestly, recalling 26 seconds before the dragon spawns probably screams to me that Granite are okay to give this one up. They actually cancel those recalls now, though. As they're actually teleporting members in. They're looking to fight this.
No wards onto Hestero or Teko, so they don't know this has come through.
The Harrowed Path was there, but didn't land himself the E. As the Rift Herald's going to get spawned up, and looks like Granite are going to try and deal with this, but they're not going to be able to get behind it. They're not going to be able to hit the eye. So this tower, not long for the world. One bot from Shelly. The mid-tier one will go down. Teko just kind of stunning out from the bush. As Muta also in the area. There's the Zenith Blade. The teleport's coming in. The Mega Death Rocket's been thrown down already. The fight is on, and Soft has secured the first kill. Kaelin popped himself the Dominus, but doesn't really want to move blind into the bush. Zero trying to catch them out, trying to use this vision control they have for the moment. Chimera's very low. Kaelin jumps over the wall, and now Muta's going to get some damage in as the Equalizer's been thrown down. Teko's low. Teko flashes. And Granite are just going to have to step away. Low health bar on the mid lane means this is going to be Granite favored right now.
Yeah,
so
you say
have to
that,
be careful.
TP can come through from Chimera here.
Looks like this may just be it for Granite. They might pull away, call this off. The Syndra can hold mid, and Resolve will get the third dragon of the game, and they'll be one step closer to that Ocean Soul.
Well, I tell you what, that was messy. You know, that was not a clean fight. And it just kind of seemed like whenever there were two... I'm not, like, you know, you saw the flash from Kaelin coming in there. They still had the Equalizer. They had TP onto Chimera. And I thought there was like a bit of other ways you could have played that. They felt a bit too hypey. So Resolve, they can be comfortable just calming down a little bit. They have so many things going well for them right now. 2 Drakes onto them, just need 2 more. And everything on the map right now is just in their favor. The only thing who's remotely even is Hestero into Kaelin. But outside of that, the rest of the map from Resolve, they're just winning. And I think what we're starting to look for now for Resolve is that they need to they need to trim away these outer turrets. You push your bot lane into the mid lane, you wait for them to get to the pressure, and you just simply rotate to one of the side lanes to crack down the turrets. I think that's going to be the game plan for Resolve here. So for Granite, you could be trying to catch people in one of these rotations. You can see Teko here already behind enemy lines and do have some good skirmish potential if they can pick out someone who's probably isolated, but no, he's just going to recall.
Yeah, not going to look for it, and Muta might be the one who's isolated now himself, as Teko did cancel that recall and is actually looking to collapse onto Chimera on the top side. Wixo will be spotted out by Soft. They've already got the Harrowed Path, and Chimera, low HP, a Heartbreaker should just about seal the deal as Teko secures the kill. Uses Sovereign's Domination to secure another person to steal away, but the Ash Arrow will land, and Soft will go dominating. An absolutely monstrous performance from him on the Rumble. 6-0-2 right now.
Yeah, that hurt. But you can kind of see the gist of Viego there right there. It was really easy for them to shut down Chimera. Unfortunately, Flash comes out from Soft, so the stun from the stolen Syndra, does it have a name when Viego steals someone?
His Sovereign's Domination is the name of his passive, and that's
going to be very tough to say every time he does that.
I said it, and I regretted saying it. I'm going to be honest. We should rename it, shouldn't we?
Yeah, what do we call it? That's kind of what I want to get to here. You're very creative with names. You're a writer. What do we call this?
I might have to think about this a little bit. For the moment, I'm just going to say he pinches their form. And then I'll come up with a smart name when I can use my head.
To me, it's like he's kind of not soul point bound, but he's like perhaps stealing the soul of it. I'm not too sure, but siphoning is what Jamada is saying here. So I think he's siphoning them.
Yeah, that's 2 on the mark, but you want a funny name. You want to play on words, Jamada.
I'm not too sure about that. I actually think he came with the best one so far, but maybe you'll come up with something better along the way. But I'm not hopeful, quite honestly.
Don't be hopeful. Don't get your hopes up. I'm probably not going to come up with something good. I've had a few good ones. Sorry, Jamada just typed in our production channel. Something I'm not going to say.
I don't even know what that means.
I'll explain to you after the broadcast when you're old enough.
It wouldn't be the first time I said something on the broadcast I was not supposed to say.
Oh, man.
I hate Foxtrot.
For anyone who didn't tune in, because I know we actually got more viewers than we normally have, last season, Goldborg basically said he pooped himself. So, you know, there we go.
It's a word I didn't know what meant, but, you know, enough about that. I kind of want to take it back to what we've been crediting Resolve for in this series, Jake. Yeah, don't give me that laugh, right? The vision control, once again. Baron is the next objective, and you just look at how lit the jungle is for Resolve right now. It's a party for them with the vision. The blue orb does come out, trying to deter them from the start, but they're not walking away.
No one gets hit by the arrow. The teleport's come in. They've actually stopped them from the Baron, and a lot was used there, really, from Granit to burn that teleport and not want to fight. Teko using that hallowed path just to stay out of sight for the moment, and Granit actually do get a bit of inside here as the equalizer laid down onto 4 members. Caleb slides in forwards, and his Zero is being melted. Uses a face breaker for the shield as the Scat of the Week hits Wixo. Fair amount used there from the side of Resolve, but nobody goes down, but the health bars are low. The arrow is going to come out. Teko waiting in the wings, seeing if a flank is available. The Zero low HP. Teko also coming in. The zap's not landed. The Chu has to flash away. Wixo jumps in, misses the solar flare. The Scat of the Week is huge. And there's the Chaos Storm as well. Resolve are being routed out of the jungle right now. But Granit don't have the health bars to continue the charge. And Chimera's now flanking on the Syndra. The Ash arrows aren't going to quite hit onto members, but Caleb flashes towards. There's the Scat of the Week. The Hallow Path is there. The Zero able to survive. The health bars on everyone is just blinking right now. The Dragon spawns and Granit are just going to get first dibs on it.
Yeah, you say that, but TP is up. Like, right now, you can see Caleb, he's recalling. I think Resolve, they want to continue this.
He has Equalizer again? His Zero's going to get cooked. The Dragon's been secured, but that is going to be the end of the Zero. They're coming in for the teleport. Caleb's looking for a turnaround. Can he find it? Wixo misses the Zenith Blade, and that will cost his life. Baybord just Gale Forces out of there. And that is going to be 2 kills in return for the Dragon. It could just be Baron time for Resolve as Teko is all alone, thinking he can find that assassination, but Chimera will just scatter any hopes to the wind.
And that is Baron time. All they needed from the side of Granit, it's just one reset. Their composition is so reset heavy. You can get the Viego siphoning, whatever you want to call it. You get the Jinx reset as well. All they needed was that kill onto Caleb when he walked away with about 50 HP. And that could have been a whole nother fight. But they're not able to pick it up. It's so close. But nonetheless, Resolve, you gotta commend them for the positioning and the way of holding on to their summoner spells. You see Archu still's got that cleanse after that exchange, basically untouched in the back line as well. And for that,
that was close. That was
had that been Jinx last patch, that would have been stolen.
You're right. Let's have a look at the fight again. Just Equalizer was on such a short cooldown. It just melted Granit and they had nowhere to go.
Yeah, I guess that one Cloud Drake coming in clutch there as well, because they started out what seems like the initial fight with it, and they ended what seems like the initial fight with it.
You got 7-0-4 Rumble right now. Got the 3.5 items. Obviously the Predator on the boots as well. That hurts. It really, really hurts. Muta now building towards that death cap, 2 needlessly large rods, but there is an item deficit, and it is starting to be felt by the side of Granit as they can't even really do much other than watch Caleb take this tier 1 tower. And now the gold lead will just expand even more off the back of this Baron and the resulting towers they'll be able to take with that.
And, you know, Trouble's probably not feeling too good about her prediction right now on that Granit. She tried to do the same last year. It actually worked out when all of us were against it. So you gotta respect her going for the play, but right now, Resolve, they're just looking like a pretty well-oiled machine. And we said it again against the actually lost against BTXL yesterday. They look like a very commanding team throughout the entirety of the series until BTXL turned it around and they won. But from that point on, that had been a Resolve favorite game, much like this one. They're very controlling in their gameplay. They're good at playing around the pressure. And it's the reason they're here with the Baron right now. So they're just going to be opting in for a 1-3-1, pushing out the mid lane, putting resources into the other side of the lane to pick up the turrets.
Teko not going to get caught out for the moment. Did look for a little something, but just testing that damage as the Ash Arrow is going to hit. And Teko, too greedy, my friend. The Chew's going to take him out. They've still got the Baron, no jungler, and with this wave, I think they should be able to crack open the base here. There's not really enough wave clear on Muta, Wixo, and Babral. So the turret's going to go down. The inhibitor will be next to get fired up onto, and that'll be quick to fall as well.
Yeah, that's just going to be it. And you can see them, they're immediately moving on to the mid lane. Top lane done, all right. We put the forces elsewhere. And honestly, they can just push in this and then try to set up to bot lane instead. They can recall if they want to, but it seems like they want to make the most out of this Baron. 30 seconds onto it.
Oh, Muta loses over half HP to that equalizer. That pretty much takes him out for the moment. If he gets hit by one thing, he's going to get cooked to Chew. Takes a good laser beam. Here comes the slam into a Chew. They're not going to quite hit him with it. Big face breaker comes down onto the solar flare, but nobody's in the fight right now. Resolve's health bars are low, and the scatter is absolutely superb, stopping anyone in their way because Teko flashes forward. The Zenith Blade comes in. There's the Heartbreaker looking for the reset. Teko unable to do so, and Caleb is just melting through the backline. Nobody can get close to anyone. And Granit only have their squishy damage dealers left.
Yeah, you can see they're so desperate for that siphon onto the Viego there, but he flashed away, died afterwards, and the little clone or soul, whatever you want to call it, was out of range for them right there. But Granit really finding a fight here with nothing seemed to go well for them, and it starts out with this beautiful ultimate from Hezero. 4 members initially being hit by .W, and you can see they're so low. It's so hard for them to walk too far forward without losing their life for it. Fastleg pays a bit forward with the flash in from Teko, and there you see it. The flash, he dies to ignite. Soul, way out of range for the Viego, and he can't keep the resets to come through.
Granit just sniffing around to see if there's any scraps left in the jungle, any gold they can put into Babral. It's not going to be the case, and just going to have to do their best and try and catch these waves as Chimera, almost level 16. Maxing out that Unleashed power, getting that Syndra passive on that as fast-legged and Chimera could be on the receiving end of a little bit of love here. This could be the shutdown they need. They're coming out. They've got the solar flare. They've got the kill. That's going to be the shutdown. Picked up a Babral. Huge pickup, like you said, for Granit. Just as the dragon spawns as well. This will be third for it, whichever team can take it. It looks like Granit are going to be the ones.
And this was the first time Resolve was caught lacking with their vision. Usually they've been so effective at setting it up around the objectives. This time around, they don't do it, and they're punished instantly. But Soph, he's not done with them, but yeah, I guess he is.
Getting too hypey, Gulborg.
I really thought he was going to continue on that one. But, I mean, they sacrificed a Drake. It's not a soul or anything yet. It's still Resolve very much dictating the pace of this game. And now, mid lane inhibitor is being picked up as well. So only one lane to fall left for Granit Gaming. Hello.
Resolve just gonna call it here. Don't worry, I'm just building up tension, bro.
I'm not tense, I'm scared. I thought you were disconnected. Don't do that.
I think you've been too worried about Scoundrel's internet dying at the beginning of the show.
Don't do this to me. My soul, it can't take it.
If anyone missed the start of the show, it was superb, honestly.
Yeah. It really was. A Scoundrel disconnect. Did you see? Oh, alright. For anyone here, NLC's on Twitter, go see the latest tweet they made about it, because they made a really funny video about it. If you didn't see it, Jake, you should do it after the game.
I am gonna do that after this. Make sure you do follow us on Twitter. NLC Low. We started to post memes now. Like Gulborg getting half naked at the beach.
Yeah, if you want to see him naked, you know where to find it. But Baron this time around has appeared on the map, and you can see Resolve not caught lacking with the vision. They only wanted to make that mistake once, but you can see him here. There's no pressure from the rest of Resolve out on the map. Yes, Super's out, but it's really easy for Granit to come in here and try to contest this one, and they have to, quite frankly, at this point.
There's a big equalizer, and the Baron's called off. Solar Flare lands onto a couple of members. The slam is there. Babral's just firing away. Heartbreaker's been thrown out by Hezero. He's trying to survive as long as possible. Babral's still pretty much untouched. He takes out Kalim. Got himself excited for the moment. Teko inside the Shroud from the Hallowed Path, and Resolve. They're the ones with low health bars. Sure, they killed more members, but they can't stay too much longer. Although they are fishing, they're thinking about it. It might just be back to Baron for them, but they're going to have to reset. They're going to use these teleports to come back in. Babral Gonna use the Scryer's Bloom to get them the vision. Teko will be spotted out, and Chimera can look for a scatter. Won't find it thanks to that hallowed path. And they might just have to call this off. It looks like that is going to be all she wrote as the equalizer, the Ash Arrow. Everything's been thrown down. Teko tries to find the assassination, but a Chu will cleanse. Baron is going to go to Resolve. And Granit are stopped in their tracks.
Yeah, really cool by Archer walking up there and just catching on to what initially is a bluff from them. They made it seem like they were going to contest, but just wanted to reset instead. And throwing in the Scryer's Bloom catches Teko off guard here. And initially a decent equalizer, but I think the Solar Flare is even better, creating so much split between them. You can see the power, really, of the resets of Viego as soon as they come through onto Caleb here. They're just forced to back off. There it goes, siphoning. And while it's still a 4 versus 3, they're not feeling confident going in here. You're just one reset on Chimera away from them just losing the fight. And here we see it. Archu walking up, Scryer's Bloom catches him with the arrow. And I wonder how the map is going to look here. Teko is back on the map, and mid lane inhibitor or top lane inhibitor has respawned from the side of Granit Gaming. Mid lane inhibitor is sure to follow. And Resolve, they're just going to pick up from where they left in the bottom side of the map here, trying to take care of the last lane turrets.
This is the final structure outside of the base. Only 2 more towers stand. This has definitely been a theme for our games. As the Solar Flare, the Flash Wixo misses the Zenith Blade, and East and Unleashed Powers, the Equalizer, will fry him now. The Ash Arrow has been thrown out and doesn't really need to hit its mark. Resolve can just brute force their way through this bottom lane. Zero is going to take a lot of damage from that Scatter of the Week, and it feels like Granit are running out of options, running out of opportunities. Maybe in 25 seconds, if they can hold for 25 seconds. Once they got their support back, they can do something here, but with supers pouring in the mid lane, Baroned up minions in the bot side, and 2 down inhibitors and only 1 turret to defend. Granit really don't have much to work with. Babel does get a nice crit off onto Chimera. Here comes the wave. Kalim jumping in forward. Big scatter by Chimera. They get the slam back. It's going to be the kill for Zero. That might be it, actually. As the the Mega Rocket comes in, that's going to be the Dominion thrown down. The Equalizer is going to cook everyone, and Kalim's doing work, but it's not enough. The Solar Flare's there, and Babral's excited. Fastleg is being hunted down. The Zap goes wide. The Rockets are landing, but Fastleg will just about survive. The only standing member for Resolve. This game isn't done yet.
Yeah, that's the thing, because yes, the Nexus turrets fell there. The Nexus is open, but this is so for the side of Granit Gaming here. Their jungler is not alive, but neither is 80% of Resolve's team. It's only Fastleg back left trying to steal this one, and there's nothing he could do. This should just be sold over to the side of Granit, which will be a helping hand in the rest of their game's endeavors for them.
I mean, this fight, I didn't expect that kind of damage to come out from his Zero at all.
Just maxing it there. Chimera, no flash, no way to get away from that one. And there we see the power of the reset. As soon as they come through, it's almost done and dusted. The only good thing about this is Zero burned down before he could get another reset. So this could have been a way more convincing win, and Fastleg could potentially also have fallen prey to this fight. Initially does not, but shutdowns has come through. And yes, the gold lead is still significant in Resolve's favor, but this time around, where teams are almost at full item, where you see the 4 items on Jinx, it's not going to matter all that much. A lot of it will come down to execution now and how the fight is played.
Yeah, I think that's the big thing is Babro, who's been starved all game, is now 4 items on Jinx. Got the stopwatch. There's a stopwatch on Muta as well. So they are very much ready to take these next couple of fights. Level 16 on Babro. Got that Mega Death Rocket completely maxed out and ready to go. Max Fishbones and the Zap as well. So it's only really the traps. Babros is pretty much as strong as he's going to get without completing his next item now. There's a shoot. Able to get the movement speed from Fastleg and dodge away from the Solar Flare. Remember, Solar Flare's on a pretty short CD at this point in the game.
Predator.
I've used it. There's the Ash Arrow. It's going to hit onto 1. They've got that Equalizer available. Wixo loses a lot of health, and his Zero getting choked out by a Chew. That's a lot of health as the Equalizer once again just cooking the members. The Scatter of the Week hits onto Teko. They have time to heal up if they want to, but they're going to lose this last inhibitor here. Resolve have all structures down. The Nexus is the only thing left for them to kill right now. Granit are aware of this. Solar Flare almost back up. 2/3 of its cooldown has been used. They're looking for an opportunity just to force Resolve out. Resolve are going to take it. They're going to step away, but his Zero now receiving a lot of love. Gets slammed in, gets a massive hospital. Muta assassinates him. Rocket goes wide, but it's not even a matter. Muta flashes forward, looking for Chimera. The scan of the week comes out. Sorry, the Unleashed Power. Teko hunting for blood. Not going to find more. Supers are in the base. Granit have to deal with the waves.
Yeah, it's only going to get harder for them now because 2 super minions are going to spawn every time. And if you take care of those in your base, they're just inevitably going to stack up due to the natures of all your inhibitors being down. They need to get out of the map and clear this. They need to push the lanes as fast as they can. But once again, it's Zero really finding a great avenue onto this one. You can see flashes in to get the stun onto Archu, and then look at that damage. Archu still no flash. It's just absolutely exploded. Muda trying to go forward as well with the slow coming in from his spells here, but it's just not able to finish it up with Chimera flashing away. And this game is still very much going. But the problem is right now from Granit Gaming, they don't have any ways to go outside of their base. TP is up for Calum and Chimera. You cannot contest this Baron. If you do, there's a chance that they will just finish the game themselves before you even know it.
The Ocean Soul really paying dividends here. You got that triple Ocean Soul, you got that Infernal Soul. It's only a smidge of extra damage, but it is there. It's just hard, though, with these supers. And now Baron Nashor is going to be getting started up. And I really don't think Granit can deal with this. They dodge well in the Ash Arrow, but they are looking for the teleports. They're looking for the contest here. Solar Flare lands on a couple of people as Muta goes low. They might just finish up the Baron. Can Granit steal this one away? The Soft's going to try and come in. It's a secure, it's a smite fight. Who's going to win it? They lock them down. Soft goes down. Baron is secured. Soft is going to lose his life. And they've looked for Zero, but Zero is doing so much damage. Caleb able to take him out. And it looks like Granit will just take the W here. They're going to step away. No, the teleports are coming in. They're trying to stop them. Muta's in there, trying to kill Chimera. Chimera's solo. Caleb is going to backdoor. No, he's not. Granit, hold on. What the hell?
It's still going. It's not done. I thought for sure that was the game, but the TPs came through, but they stopped him. Muta, with an insane amount of damage, is able to keep the games alive. And now they have the Soul. Now they have the Baron. Now there's 40 to 20 second death timers unresolved. What can they use with this time? I don't think much, really, but it's still extra time in the game where you are alive.
Holy moly, Granit. Playing with some serious fire right now. 38 minutes on the clock, and Granit have finally found an opportunity where they can step up, where they can start to take some structures. Gold is irrelevant. AD carries are pretty much full build. Mid laners also sitting on 3 items. The item spikes here aren't as powerful right now. We are well and truly into late game. This fight, though, beautiful.
Yeah, but it's also so scattered from Resolve. The fact that Soft is going in there alone just shows that there's not really any game plan. I think for Resolve here, you just say, oh, they TP'd in. We just need to get the hell out of here and just TP onto the base, as we see now. But a member has already fallen. There's no equalizer to stop the base. There's no one to stop Muda from going back here. A beautiful stopwatch, so Calum can't get the stun down. And then the gravity field just keeps him in place. So there's not enough to do with them. So yes, they're not able to end the game after that skirmish, granted, after getting Baron, but the inhibitors are going to respawn. There's no longer 2 super minions going down in a lane. And that creates so much extra pressure for you on the map because you don't have to worry about your base. But look at Calum. He's just making his way down right now. He's even pinged. But they don't have any vision on him. Blue Orb comes through to kind of scatter him away from that point. But Elder Drake, 10 seconds. Caleb behind enemy lines.
Ash Arrow, Muta's been caught. Stopwatch has been used. Solar Flare comes out as well. They're looking for the assassination. Heartbreaker's used by Teko.
Look at Caleb.
Summons some anger. Caleb's just going in for the back door. Teleports aren't available. They have that Baron reset though, and that's enough to scare him off. Can they hunt Caleb down? If they can kill him here, that stops any backdoor threat. Muta and Babro chasing. The Zap's going to connect. Wixo's low HP, but the junglers are here. They look for a kill onto Soft. Soft uses a stopwatch. A Zero may look for a quick kill, but Achu's not going to let him get away with this as they look Achu down. Achu will lose his life as the rocket comes through as well. Teko steals the Ash form, and he's onto the Baron. He's onto the Elder. He's going to step away for the moment. Caleb is nowhere near a backdoor, and it looks like Granit may just use this Baron to try and finally crack open the base for themselves. Inhibitors are now respawning in the base of Granit. Only the top lane to worry about, and they've got Muta there. They've got the wave clear on the mage, and now Granit 40 minutes into this game, have slugged, have fought tooth and nail, but they are pushing for a final here. Can they close this game out? Kalem's going to be able to jump away. The equalizer is used to clear the wave, but the next wave is going to make its way forward. Choose not up for 23 seconds. That's no arrow. That's no consistent AD damage coming out. But it looks like Resolve, they're going to try. They have to try here. But
Oh my God.
has been put into Chimera. No rocket available quite yet, but the towers are going down. Kalem's trying to kill Teko, unable to do so. Babel flashes into Chimera's face. Chimera's going to pop the GA. Muta dealing with Kalem, but Kalem's also doing some serious damage, but the Nexus falls and Granit win the game.
What a banger. Hiprin, when we started this game, you told me, I hope this game is going to be close. But when you said that, I don't think any of us could have imagined what we just saw in Trouble. I bow down to you. I bow to the prediction queen of the North right there, predicting Granit as the only one with hope. And my word, what a game we had in front of us.
That was incredible. That was such a good game. And I mean, that's only day 2 of our first week here at the NLC. Ooh. Honestly, it looked like Resolve just had that. They looked that was completely done. This was the team who, remember, challenged BTXL in the first game of the tournament. And unfortunately, well, not the first game of the tournament, but their first game of the tournament. Unfortunately for them, they do go 0-2 on the first week. Guys, we're going to throw to a break. I'm going to try and plug the hole I punched in my table at the end of that fight. We'll see you in a moment.
Open arms of mine.
Look, you know, when she's right, she's right.
Scoundrel, you're
And,
muted. You can't praise me if you're muted.
I'm muted. Why? I'm muted on Discord, but I'm not muted on Hangouts. So I'm just saying. You guys couldn't hear me, but stream could hear me. And yeah, when she's right, she's right. You know, I'm not going to say that Resolve turbo inted, but I think Granit absolutely kicked ass in the late game. So there you go. There you go. I'm going to give it to them. Granit absolutely kicked ass in the late game. These guys are insane Smurfs. Insane Smurfs in the late game. But yeah, there we go. You saw the scoreboard pop up there. The big dip back towards Granit in that later stages of the game, where, as Trouble correctly said, you just couldn't force. You know, when you with the comp that Resolve had, they just couldn't force. Like you relied on an Ash Arrow, you relied on a perfect setup of the Rumble Ultimate, and those things just didn't work out as the game progressed. And luckily, we've got some first-hand experience here for what was like a really insane, intense, almost base race-esque end to the game. We've got Muta from Granit ready to chat to us. And honestly, you said before we came on, your heart was pounding. The end of the game was nutty. Like, what were the comms like? Were you guys really, really confident that you could end, or were you kind of like coin flipping it at the end? Like, what was going on?
Yeah, so I think everyone could see we had a bit of an rough early game. Like, our jungle got into some messy situations, but I tried to call everyone down saying, yo, we can win, we have a good scaling, we have Victor Jinx that can engage, so we're fine. And basically what happens is that it's back and forth, you know, and we try our best to keep the base, then the Elder fight is happening, and it's when we get a kill or two, I back to protect the Renex, and I'm literally calling my team, like, shouting in comms to them, guys, you're not backing here, you're not doing Elder, you're running at the base. As soon as you see Renekton, I'm gonna TP, and we end this game, okay? And that's what we did. It worked out amazing. Like, I shouted, I think my teammates might have gotten like a bit of ear pain because I shouted too high, but you know, I'm really happy to win the game because it was so rough. But yeah, I'm happy taking the win here.
I'm happy to see the mental fortitude actually coming from you, like playing the victory, like, guys, hashtag we scale. Just be patient. But we have a 0-9 Viego. It doesn't matter. We scale. And I just want to know what happened to the comms when you guys were trying to TP and you see the Renekton coming in, because you obviously have the powered up TPs from the Baron still, but Resolve is literally in front of you. What goes through your mind? If they come too close, we engage. And what happens to the Renekton? Like, what was the call right there?
Exactly where? Because I don't think I can remember exactly what you're speaking about.
You were in the mid, and you see the Renekton walking into your base. Just the Renekton walking into the base, and you and Jinx managed to TP back. Yeah. What happens if you get cancelled there? What was the call?
I mean, our call was that we were confident enough that we are sneaky ninjas, that they won't see the backs, and we decided to press the B button. And when you do, you recall to base. And I actually, like, Babe were kind of fucked up there, not gonna lie, because I called him to not base and I would handle it myself so he could be in the fight, you know. But Babe was like, no, I come back with you, Mutter. And I mean, it worked out, you know, but, you know, our plan was that after we got the Syndra, I think, like, we know where Renekton was gonna go for backdoor. So we're like, okay, guys, you stall them, make sure they don't, cancel our backs and we can defend. And then we take from that. So I think that was the call, yeah.
It was just such an insane game, and honestly, how often are you now going to go into your solo queue games, Muta, and apply that we scale, but in a serious way? How, you know, have you got to go into every solo queue game now and apply we scale in a serious way?
I mean, the thing is, I'm kind of a seraph, you know, to be in solo queue, you know.
He's used to it.
every teammate of mine, if a skirmish happens number 3 and I'm not moving because I'm playing PvE on the wave, you know. And they're like tilting. I'm like, guys, let me get 2 ices and we will be all fine. Yeah. So I know the feels, you know.
You were prepared. You were molded in this scale. You were ready for the scale when it came to this game, dude. I'm so happy to see you happy. I mean, you proved everyone except for Trouble, by the way. You give some thanks to Trouble. She gave you the love to Granit. She gave you the prediction. You proved everybody wrong, and especially because Resolved looked so good versus XL yesterday. I think a lot of people really thought, wow, this team's insane. But you guys held on to the late game. You popped off. You made some great late game decisions, and honestly, a thoroughly deserved win. And I really hope we get to see you pull out some more of those throughout this split. Thanks, Muta.
Thank you so much for the interview, and thank you for bringing 9K viewers to the stream watching us smash.
Congrats, mate. Congrats. And speaking to you 9K viewers who are chilling over there, if you want to keep up with the NLC, you want to see some more Muta interviews, make sure you check us out on our social media channels, NLC LOL, and also give the Twitch channel a follow to get notified when we go live. We have a lot of broadcasts coming your way over the next, 8-9 weeks, more than that, in the lead up to the finals of the NLC and then eventually the European Masters Spring Split. So make sure you don't want to miss this. We have banger games like this every single week. It's absolutely insane. It was a really, really great game, and I want a lovely interview, Trouble.
I feel really bad for Resolve. They had to play the EU Masters finalists and champions of the NLC on the first day, almost pull out the win against them, which would have been huge. And they come into this game in a practically one game. I think they were 8 or 9K ahead at some point, and they lose that too. I just really hope they can bounce back from that, because the roster seems really, really, really strong, and they honestly deserve it. And so far, the showing we've seen from the teams, they all look so strong. Drawing board, hit me.
Yeah. I'm gonna say, let's get into the drawing board. Let's have a look at the play from that game. And I just a little bit before we get in Trouble, I really feel like Resolve can hold their head high. They should have won, really. They should have won, really. But let's take a look at this moment.
So the problem that I initially also had with Resolve is that every single member doesn't have a hard engage button. If the Ash Hour hits, if the Equalizer slows them, if they play on a choke point. Here, there's no choke point. Literally, Granit have their entire base to play with, and Resolve rely on Granit trying to pull and engage, and these guys will peel backwards to try and kill someone with the Rumble Equalizer. So as we play this out, you will see that when a situation is extremely spread out, Granit weigh the situations, right? They allow all the engage to go through, and then Set goes in, Leona spawns, and you see that the Jinx has not been touched once in the backline. She's free firing together with the Victor, and they managed to get reset after reset onto the Jinx, to the point where Baybro got so much gold out of this situation, and Resolve couldn't do nothing about it. And even though they played their early game beautifully, they were playing their kiting so lovely, they were playing into the choke points, they were forcing Granit towards them, they were getting the kills out of mistakes coming in from Granit. But at the end of the day, if you don't have the engage, if you don't have a goal button, if you don't have a way to get onto your opponent, and you rely on them coming to you, you're gonna lose at the end of the day.
Muted. How did that happen? I didn't even mute myself. What the hell happened there? Anyway, break, because we have another game. It's the champions, the European Masters finalists versus Singularity. Let's go.